Most people are aware of what cultural appropriation looks like in the real world, be it someone dressed as a particular people or culture for Halloween, or someone borrowing the cultural attire or hairstyle purely for the aesthetic, fetishizing it in an ignorant, egotistical manner. But how does this term fit into video games, and how does this affect players' abilities to express themselves within games? This video will explore exactly that. Cultural appropriation is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of the customs, practices, ideas of one people or society by members of another and more typically dominant people or society. Han, in moving from cultural appropriation to cultural appreciation, identifies one cause of cultural appropriation: when people with a dominant culture use objects from another culture without thorough research and remain ignorant of the cultural context, cultural appropriation takes place. In this, Han identifies the qualities of cultural appropriation: ignorance, entitlement, materialism, fetishization and commodification. It's a negative term that is the extenuation of centuries of racism and persecution. Cultural appreciation is a term that does not yet officially exist. It's a term that's used often but does not yet have a formal definition, though most informal definitions seem to follow the same traits and properties of what cultural appreciation ought to include and be. Cultural appreciation requires a humbled attitude toward the exploration of a particular culture and or people. It is not done so with the focus of social or economic gain, but to respectfully understand the people that we share the world with and to broaden the mind. Han identifies the necessary approach to cultural appreciation and the avoidance of cultural appropriation. Cultural exchange and mutual respect are necessary preconditions for moving from cultural appropriation to cultural appreciation. Mutual respect can prevent dismissive or limiting cultural misunderstandings and appropriation. Howard reveals how music teachers can avoid cultural appropriation when teaching on music from different cultures. To avoid cultural appropriation, music educators need to take their time to explore the source and approach the traditions of others in a respectful manner so the people and music studied are neither demeaned nor exploited. This message goes beyond its original application to teaching music and teaches the valuable lesson in that avoiding cultural appropriation requires the exploration and respect and attentiveness in order to ensure cultural appreciation is achieved. Cultural appropriation is seen most in the forms of materialism, particular clothing, style, or aesthetic. In particular culture, these such clothes and styles have a rich heritage with significant meaning, purpose, or symbolism. As similar as in stereotyping, the more dominant or powerful people use these meaningful contrivance and use it in a reductive manner. The appropriators adorn themselves in it as just an item or style, creating a disingenuous caricature of the original people or culture that rightfully own it and purely materialize it, removing it of its original cultural significance. Video games must try to walk the line in being diverse and avoid stereotyping or appropriating. Online multiplayer games have millions of players from worldwide. They must attempt to represent them in order to facilitate players' needs for expressionism. Expressionism is self-discovery and self-expressionism within gaming. It draws a greater personal connection between the player and who they are playing as. Expressionism comes from dynamics that encourage individual users to leave their mark. Systems for purchasing, building, or earning in-game items, for designing, constructing, and changing levels or worlds, and for creating personalized, unique character. Expressionism isn't limited to just reflecting oneself in a realistic way. There are multiple modes of expressionism: reflection, aspiration, and temporal desire. Players yearn to be someone else, at least temporarily, and enjoy video games for this form of escapism. The actual self is used as some sort of template in order to construct a version of self within a game, or to choose a character in a game that suits their real self. This can be due to the common physical features, but can also be due to links such as personality, goals, or an overall playstyle between the player and who they are playing as. One of the most desirable features of game expressionism is the impermanence of it. You can experiment with different styles, aesthetics, and abilities. In the paper, The Ideal Self at Play describes how video games let players try on different ideal aspects of themselves that they might not find expression in everyday life. Players of online competitive games love expressionism, as what is the point in winning if you don't get to express yourself while you do it? This is one of the main reasons that online competitive games like Fortnite and League of Legends have so many customizational skins, cosmetics, and characters to play as. It's all in an effort to enhance and personalize the overall gameplay experience. A popular way in which expressionism is achieved within these games is through the use of purchasable skins and styles. Skins in video games refer to the different styles that you can apply to a character, or in some cases, skins refer to a different playable character that a character can purchase and play as. Culturally themed skins can be noticed in most online multiplayer games. It's often a positive thing in which one can show pride of their country of origin, but when these skins are focused on stereotype or disingenuous representation, this can be cause of controversy and be example of cultural appropriation within games. Cultural appropriation within games leads to identity tourism. Identity tourism, which allows a player to appropriate a racial identity without any risk associated with being a racial minority in real life. Fortnite has thousands of skins and themes to choose from in order for players to truly express themselves within the game. These skins are bought with V-Bucks, the in-game currency of Fortnite. Fortnite has a variety of different modes within the game, though the game is primarily known as being a battle royale game. A battle royale game means eliminating each and every other player to survive as a solo champion. The variety of racial representations within Fortnite has been great for players' accessibility to a diverse range of characters to play as, and truly express themselves while doing so. Previous games has featured a large degree of tokenism, in which out of the large array of characters to play as, there may only be one representation of a particular race or culture, and this singular representation reduces an entire race or culture to this one character. These characters are often then shaped by stereotype and lack depth or personality, causing much degree of controversy. Fortnite has many skins and characters of different cultural and ethnic origins. In this way, it appreciates the fan-based community around the game and encourages a diverse range of personal expressionism, devoid of limitations or of stereotyping. These are seen both in the purchasable skins and the free default skins. D'Angelo Epps wrote in an article on Digital Trends that the characters within Fortnite typically span across many skin tones and ethnicities, letting players choose who they feel closest to. Systems like that naturally expand players' ability to find a hero that best represents them. The variety in Fortnite skins allows multiple representations, not just of cultures as a whole, but also from within these cultures, to avoid this one-strain narrative of what a certain culture looks like or acts like, providing the tools for a variety of authentic expressionism for players to play as within the game. Fortnite skins are purchasable in-store on rotation, and are not all available all year round, and new Fortnite skins are introduced during different events or different seasons. One great thing about the season skins in Fortnite, most notably in their sporting events, is that they will feature a particular style for the particular season and will feature it on all characters of a diverse range of ethnicities within the game. highlighting the inclusivity and diversity of the game. Although where these skins can get problematic is when these skins are culturally themed. For example, the Day of the Dead theme skins and a Bushido set are inspired by the Japanese samurai. Both of these skins feature the visual representation of a respected tradition or people within their respected cultures, and remove or muddy their cultural significance by appropriating the style to the game. A festival which is about remembering and celebrating the lives of the dead seems inappropriate to be used in a battle royale game. Similarly, the likeness of the highly respected Japanese warriors of the samurai to feature in a game that also features a playable personified banana and hot dog also seems greatly inappropriate. Nakamura facilitates a term for cultural appropriation within video games called cybertypes, that race, ethnicity, and other aspects of identity can be cybertyped in digital culture as ideology that is both recontextualized and decontextualized, and importantly that digital systems operationalize and instrumentalize race, that the culturally appropriated skins can be used by players as a means to fetishize, parody, and insult in a form of immoral expressionism through expressionism of one's own prejudice within video games. League of Legends is a multiplayer online battle arena video game developed by Riot Games in 2009. It has over 150 million registered users and has a roster of over 140 characters called champions to play as. Unlike in Fortnite, the mechanics of each playable character differs, giving the choice to the player depending on their own independent playstyle. There are 6 main types of champion, and this includes assassin, fighter, mage, marksman, support, and tank. League is a highly competitive game focused on winning the game over anything else. With this in mind, it can be argued that League players have greater concern to the aesthetic of play of competition over the aesthetic of play of expressionism. Therefore, picking a character that resembles you through expressionism may be less important than choosing a character based on their utility and likeness to earn the player a win. Although expressionism is arguably less important than competition in League, ideally League players will choose a champion that allows themselves some degree of expressionism through the character's styles, look, attitude, or abilities, and has mechanics that are effective and familiar to the player's gameplay style, thus securing a win whilst simultaneously expressing oneself in the process. Expressionism within League greatly contributes to the maintenance of the enjoyment factor within the game. League also features different purchasable skins for each champion within the game. Some of these skins are exclusive to their respected champion, and others are seasonal or event skins that feature on a selection of characters, for example the pool party set. Similarly to Fortnite, these skins can get problematic and culturally appropriative when these skins are culturally inspired. This can be seen in the Sultan line of skins, in which the champions Tryndamere and Gangplank wear turbans, jeweled belts, and extravagant robes. The turban holds great spiritual significance within Sikhism. Turbans are one way that Sikhs are recognisable and distinct. It is unique and sovereign to the visual identity of Sikhs. This being applied to the game as an aesthetic add-on removes the cultural significance from it. The overall style of the skin on both characters is created through the use of stereotype and caricature of their respective cultures. Both skins feature the champions wearing a turban, jeweled belt, and large moustache, appropriating a real culture to a fictional character in a stereotypical and culturally appropriative way. League is slowly becoming a more diverse game with a wider array of racial and cultural representations. To ensure this continues and the representations of a diverse range of cultures maintain authenticity requires Riot to hire a more diverse team of game creators, as in their most recent diversity report, 56% of employees are white, 25% are Asian, and only 2.5% are Black or African American. Riot recently assembled a resource group to aid in maintaining diversity and authenticity of representations of race and culture within their games, and to combat issues such as stereotyping and culturally appropriating within their games. Nor Fortnite nor Epic Games have released an ethics statement about inclusivity or diversity within their games or their workforce, although they did release a brief statement on their website about their support for anti-racism and support of diversity within their games. In conclusion, this video essay has explored how video games, Fortnite and League of Legends have included cultural appropriation and appreciation within their games, and how this has affected players' ability to express themselves while playing these games. This video essay has started off by revealing the definitions of cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation to determine how these terms reflect the use of skins and characters within their games. By evaluating the use of characters and skins within these games, it has revealed what these games are sometimes missing in their cultural representations to maintain cultural appreciation. Authenticity, diversity, sincerity and purpose. The lack of these qualities have resulted in the implementation of culturally appropriative skins and characters. Culturally themed skins are always going to be open to criticism and being labelled as culturally appropriative, as they are the commodification of a culture, and that even when these representations are authentic and sincere, they are still commodifying culture. To avoid issues around cultural misrepresentation, appropriation, and stereotyping, it's important that the cultures being represented have a direct oral hand in the creative process of creating represented cultures, characters, and skins. This will result in a character or skin that is culturally authentic and will be truly expressive for gamers of their particular cultures or races due to their sincerity and authenticity.